Hi Year 4, hope you're all okay and welcome to Thursday's maths lesson on fractions. Have a look at the starter, see if you can have a go at it, and then we'll go through the answers together. If you're not sure about the starter and you want me to go through it with you, then don't pause the video, we'll go through it now. So it says use a bar model to help you represent and find 1/7 of 56, and then 2/7, 3/7, 4/7, and then 4/7 of 28 and 7/7 of 28. So this first one, we've got 56 and it's been split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So each of these parts in the bar model is worth 1/7 because it's been split into 7 equal pieces. If we want to know 1/7 of 56, we need to divide that then by 7. So 56 divided by 7 is 8. Okay, so 1/7 of 56 would be 8. So then if we wanted to know 2/7 of 56, we would have to do 8 times 2, which would be 16. 3/7 we'd have to do 8 times 3, because remember, if 1/7 is 8, and we want to know 3/7, 8 times 3 is 24. 4/7 you'd have to do 8 times 4, which is 32. I promise I know my times tables. And then this one's a bit different. This one, it's 4/7 of 28, but if you look closely, 28 is actually half of 56. Now, if we've already done 4/7 of 56, which is 32, how do you think we could use that to work out 4/7 of 28 if 28 is half of 56? We could, in fact, just half this. So half of 32 would be 16. And if you wanted to check that, we could do 28 divided by 7, which is 4. So we know what 1/7 is 4. And if we want to know 4/7, it's 4 times 4, which is 16. Same with this one. Well, this one's different again. This one's 7/7. Now remember, if you have the same numerator and denominator, then it's a whole. So 7/7 of 28 would be 28 because that is the whole value. Okay, and we could even double check that. You could do 28 divided by 7, which is 4, times by 7, which is 28. So it means that that is the whole amount. So hopefully if you had a go on your own, you managed to get all of those correct and you were able to use the bar model to help you. So today we're going to carry on with calculating fractions of a quantity to solve word problems. So we're carrying on with the knowledge we've learned. Yesterday was a lesson where you kind of consolidated your knowledge and had a practice, and today you're going to be using that knowledge to solve some word problems. So we're going to go through a few first, and then you will be completing some as well. So the first one says, Fabio has completed 1/5 of his maths homework. There are 40 questions. How many questions has he completed? So I've got the steps up here. You draw the fraction bar, and then you label what we already know. So we know that there are 40 questions altogether. So therefore, this line above the bar model, the fraction strip, is going to represent 40 because that's how many there are altogether. That's how many the whole shape is worth, the whole fraction strip. And we want to find, he's completed 1/5, okay? And we know that this is going to be worth 1/5. So we want to work out what this is. We know that this is worth 1/5 because that's the fraction we're looking at, and it's divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all we need to do to work out that is 40 divided by 5. Because if you only want to work out this part of it, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you do 40 divided by 5, you'll work out what this part equals. So 40 divided by 5 is 8. So therefore, he has completed 8 questions. Hopefully nice and straightforward. So now it's your turn to have a go. So pause the video, have a go. If you're not too sure and you want to go through it with me, then stay on the video. So Autumn has eaten 1/6 of her chocolate bar. The chocolate bar weighs 42 grams. How many grams has she eaten? So the whole amount that we know is 42 grams. So this whole fraction strip represents 42 grams. That's the whole amount. And she has eaten 1/6, which is this amount. So all we're going to do is divide 42 by 6 because there's 6 equal parts. And if we want to know just one, then we need to divide it by 6. So 42 divided by 6 would be 7. So 42 divided by 6 is 7. Therefore, she has eaten 7 grams. Well done for those of you who had a go and you managed to get it correct. Now moving on to this kind of question. So it says, Stacey has completed 1/4 of her journey. She has travelled 4 miles so far. How far has she still got to travel? Can you use a fraction bar to help solve this problem? So this one's a bit different. It's the same concept, but it is slightly different. So we don't actually know the total of all of it this time. So it's the other way around. So we know she has completed 1/4. So we've made a bar split into 4 equal parts because we're looking at quarters. And we know that she's travelled 4 miles so far. And if she's only travelled 1/4, it's only going to be this amount. And that is worth 4 miles. How far has she got left to travel? Now, hopefully this is quite straightforward because if we know what this section is worth, this is worth 4, and all the others are equal, then all the others are representing 4 miles as well. So if we need to know how much she's got left to travel, we can just do 4 add 4 add 4, or 4 times 3. Which is 12. So therefore she has 12 miles left to travel. So now it's time for you to have a go at that. So it says, Mr. Nugent gave Mrs. Blackie 1/5 of his pocket money. He gave Mrs. Blackie £8. How much does Mr. Nugent have left of his pocket money? Can you use a fraction bar to help solve the problem? So if you want to pause the video and have a go, then go for it. If not, then we'll go for it together. So we know the fraction is 1/5, so therefore I have made a fraction strip of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts, which are each worth a fifth. And we know that he's given Mrs. Blackie £8, so then this fifth represents £8. So if we know that this part equals £8, then the rest of them are going to equal £8. And if we want to know how much he's got left, we can just add these all up, or you can times them by 4. So 8 times 4 is 32. So therefore, he's got £32 left. Lucky Mr. Nugent. So you just have to work out what you already have and use a fraction strip and then just calculate the remaining part of the fraction strip just by adding it or timesing it. So hopefully that's quite straightforward. The last one then that we're going to go through together, this is a different type as well. It says Finley has 21 marbles. 3/7 of the marbles are red, 1/7 of the marbles are blue, and the rest are yellow. How many of each colour marble are there? So we know there's 21 altogether, so therefore this whole bar model represents 21. Now, we need to work out what 1/7 is first. We need to work out the value of each part. So to work out 1/7, we can do 21 divided by 7, which would be 3. So we know that each part, I'll write that there, each part is worth 3, okay? So if 1/7 of the marbles are blue, then there are 3 blue ones. I'll just do B equals 3. If 3/7 of the marbles are red, you could colour in 3, 1, 2, 3. And if you know they're all worth 3, you could do 3 add 3 add 3. Or 3 times 3, which is 9. So there are 9 red ones. And then you could just take these two away from 21 to find out the rest. Or you could, if you know that, if you add these two together, 3/7 add 1/7, that would be 4/7. So therefore you know that there are the rest are yellow. 3/7 of the marbles are yellow. Because all I've done is worked out the difference from 4/7 to 1 whole, which would be 3/7. So therefore, 3/7 are yellow. 1, 2, 3 again means that 9 are yellow. Because if we do 3, because it's 3/7 times 3, which is what each part is worth, it would be 9. And you can double check that by adding them all together to check it makes 21. So 9 and 9 is 18, add 3 is 21. Now it's your turn to have a go. So Freya has 24 pens marbles. Not meant to be pens marbles, just pens. Definitely not copied and pasted from the last question. 1/6 of the pens are red, 3/5 of the pens are blue, and the rest are yellow. How many of each colour pen are there? That should be, sorry. Okay, so have a go at that. If you're not sure, stay with me and we'll go through it. So we know that she has 24 pens altogether. So therefore 24 is our whole total for this bar, fraction bar or fraction strip, whatever you like to call it. So we know that this is split into 6 because the fractions we're looking at should be 6. Sorry, it should be 1/6 of the pens are red and 3/6 of the pens are blue. I mean, you still could have done. No, you couldn't really because it wouldn't have worked. So sorry if you have already started. I've just changed it and ruined it for you. So we need to work out what 1/6 is first because each of these shapes or equal parts or sections are worth 1/6. So by doing that, you do 24 divided by 6, which is 4. So this part is worth 4. So we know that each section is worth 4. So if 1/6 of the pens are red, that's nice and easy because we've already worked out 1/6, so therefore 4 pens are red. 3/6 of the pens are blue. So to work that out, if we need to do 3 6, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and 4. We could add 4 3 times, or we could do 4 times 3, which is 12. And then we need to work out how many are yellow. So we could take 12 away from 24, or you could add these two fractions up and find the difference between that and a whole to find out how many yellow ones there are as a fraction, and then work out. But actually that is quite confusing. It's quicker just to take 4 and 12 away from 24. So 24 take away 12 is 12, it's half, and then 12 take away 4 is 8. So therefore there are 8 yellow marbles, pens, sorry, getting confused now. So hopefully that was all okay. It is quite confusing, there are quite a lot of steps to them, but if you just draw out the fraction strip, hopefully you'll be able to see how you can work it out, and that should help. So now it's time for you to have a go. There are some questions for you to have a look at. This is group 1. That's the second question for group 1. It's the first question for group 2. And the second question's for group 2. Sorry, let me just make them a bit smaller. And then this is the challenge. So once you've had a go at some of them, come back and we will go through the answers. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you managed to have a good go at some of those questions. Let's go through the answers. So group 1 then, 1/3 of 30 would be 10 meters. 2, because you do 30 divided by 3, which is 10. 27, 2/3 of 27, you do 27 divided by 3, which is 9, times by 2, which is 18. And then this one you do 18 divided by 6, which is 3, times by 5, which is 15. So hopefully those are all okay. Part A of this question, it says Amelia has completed 1/6 of her homework. How many questions in total does Amelia need to complete? And she has answered 3 questions so far. So we know that she's done this, but we need to work out this. So if each of these boxes is worth 3 and we need to work out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, we can do 3 times 5, which would be 15. So therefore she needs to complete 15 questions in total. This part, it says 3/5 of the number is 15. What is the number? So for this you could do 15 divided by 3 to work out what one of these boxes would be. So if you do 15 divided by 3, that's 5. So you know that each of these boxes is worth 5. So therefore, if you add all of these up for the whole number, it would be 25. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 25, 5 times 5. And this one, 4/9 of a number is 48, so 1, 2, 3, 4 is 48. So we need to find out what one of them is worth. So 48 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4 is 12. So each of these parts is worth 12, or 1/9 is 12. And we need to work out this. I'll do it in another colour actually. We need to work out this section, what is left. No, we don't. Sorry, I'm telling a lie because it says what is the number, so that means we need to work them out all together. Sorry. That's what goes wrong when I'm doing it on the spot. So if we know each one is worth 12, and we know there are 9 boxes altogether, if we count them up, you can just do 12 times 9. I mean, you could add 12 up 9 times, but it would take ages. So you can work that out. Hopefully you should know that. It is 108. You could have used a bus stop method to help. Not bus stop, column method. Again, sorry. This video's gone on too long for me. So it would be 108. Okay, moving on to group 2 then. It says a box contains some buttons. 1/5 of the buttons are taken out. There are 24 buttons left. How many buttons were there to start with? So this one is similar to what we've just done. So you could have drawn a fraction strip to help. So if you have a fraction strip split up into 5 sections, because you're looking at fifths, and you know 24 buttons left, so that is what is actually left rather than what has been taken out. So the shaded part here is what has been taken out because that's a fifth, and then this part is worth 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of the parts is worth 24. So then to work out what an individual part would be, you'd have to divide 24 by 4, which is 6. So each of these parts is worth 6. So if it says how many buttons were there to start with, you would then do 6 times 5, which is 30. So just by drawing the fraction strip, that hopefully should have helped. For this one, it's very similar to the ones we went through at the beginning of the video. If memory has 16 cubes, 1/8 of the cubes are red, 3/8 of the cubes are blue, the rest are yellow. How many of each colour cube are there? So you would do 16 divided by 8 to work out how many red there are. So that would be 2. Then times that by 3 to get that one. So there are 6 blue ones, and then take away 2 and 6 from 16, which would be 8. So there are 8 yellow ones. Gina has 40 pencils, 3/5 are red. So for this one, you'd have to work out what 1/5 would be. So if 1/5, we do 40 divided by 5, which is 8. 1/5 is 8. And then to work out 3/5, you do 8 times 3, which is 24. So 24 are red. 3/8 are blue. So then again, sorry, I've just noticed actually that they're different numbers. Let me just pause the video and have a think about how I can explain this. This is what I get when I rush through it and don't think about the question. Okay, sorry about that. So all I've done is still kept the fact that 1/5 of the pencils is 8. But I've also worked out 1/8 because if we're looking at 8s as well, we also need to work out what 1/8 is. So if 3/5 are red, then we would have to do 8 times 3 because 8 is 1/5, so that would still be 24. This one, if we know that 1/8 is 5, and we need to work out 3/8, then we would do 3 times 5, which is 15. And then the rest are green, so then you would just do 40, take away 24. So you could use this method to help you because I'm not very good at doing quick sums in my head. So that'd be 6, and then that would be 1. So that would be, sorry about that, that would be 16, and then you've also got to take away 15, which would be 1. So there is 1 green pencil. So finally then, on the challenge question, it says find the missing numbers. So we've got 3/5 of 40 is the same as 2/3 of something. So this one, what you would have to do is work out what 1/5 would be of 40. So you can, or work out what the value is of 3/5. So by doing that, you do 1/5 first. So 1/5 of 40, because you divide that by 5. So 40 divided by 5 is 8. So we know that 1/5 is 8. Therefore, 3/5 of 40 is going to be 8 times 3, which is 24. So now we need to find a number when 2/3 of that number is 24. So in order to do that, if you know 24 is going to be your whole number, you divide that by 2. Actually, let me draw a fraction strip. That might be able to help explain it a bit more. Okay, so what I've done is drawn a fraction strip which is split into 3 sections because we're looking at thirds, and we know that we need to make 2/3 of that 24. So this amount equals 24. So then we need to work out what 1/3 is. So to work out 1/3, we will just have to divide that by 2. So 24 divided by 2 is 12. So each of these parts is worth 12. So then if you were working out the whole amount of it, it would be 12 times 3, which is 36. So 3/5 of 40 equals 2/3 of 36. These are really horrible, nasty questions. So don't worry if you didn't really understand them or didn't even bother to attempt them, because they are very tricky. Let's have a look at this one. 3/5 of 40. So we already know that that is 24. And then we need to work out that is 2 something of 60. Okay, so what I've done again is drawn a fraction strip to help show it. So because I don't actually know what the denominator is, I've just made quite a big one, but it's probably not going to be this as the denominator. So I don't actually know if it's going to be, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's probably not going to be 8, but I've just drawn that because we don't know. So I've just added the information we do know. So we know that the whole amount of the fraction strip, no matter how many parts it's split into, is 60. And we know that 2 parts of them, of whatever fraction it is, has to equal 24. So then we can still work out what 1 part is. So 24 halves is 12. So each box is worth 12. So if we know that, we can just add them up until we get to 60. So 12 add 12 is 24. Add 12 is 36. Add another 12 is 48. Add another 12 would be 60. So therefore it would be here. So all I did was just add up those 12s in my head. You might have had to do the column method, and that's fine. So therefore it would be 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/5. Okay, because all I did was work out what 1 part of the fraction strip was, and then add them all up until I got to the top amount, which is 60. But like I said, these are really nasty questions, hence why they're on the challenge. But I just thought I'd put them in there just to see how you guys got on and just to give you that bit of challenge. That is everything. I'm sorry it was such a long video today, and I'm sorry these questions were so hard. Hopefully they were all okay though for you, and my answers and explanations were helpful. Thank you for watching, and I shall look forward to speaking to you tomorrow.